I'm your boy Idaho,
I'm your boy Juke.
and we about to bring you the hottest talk, 100% raw from around the city. Last play. I'm your boy Idaho.
I'm your boy Juke.
And today we're about to bring you two legends from the city. We got Everett Horne, North College Hill legend. Then we got Chedrick, Molar's finest, the speedster. We got them in the building to talk about their journey and how they got to the point that they are now, training sons that are next up. So let's get started with Cherry. I know me and you kind of like was looked at as the same type of player, like speed receivers, like normal receivers. Like how did you take that in high school and then go to college and change that to become an all-around receiver? Like how did?
Well, I was always a small guy anyway, so you got to find something to separate yourself from everybody else. Once you get to that next level, college-wise, everybody was the man in their high school. They're the top player in their city, especially city and maybe even state. Depending on what level you are. But just working hard, man, and not letting nobody outwork me. Just pretty much learning what the defenses is, learning how to read the defenses, knowing where they're gonna be. So knowing where they supposed to be so I can run my routes and become, best for me. That was just it. Like the game slowed down for real for me, just knowing where they supposed to be. Like we weren't reading coverages and all of that stuff. I didn't learn that until I got to college. So once I started reading coverages, post snap, pre-snap read, all of that, the game just slowed down and it was easy from there,
So knowledge, you would say that gaining that knowledge of being able to like learn your playbook, learn like you said, like that was what molded you into being able to add all the tools together to get to where you're trying to be.
For sure.
That's a big one though. For all of us, like we all play at a high level, so like learning, like you said, learning defenses and learning where you need to be on the field and doing your 111, like it's one of the biggest things we're always taught. And like with you, like kind of like walk us through that year. You broke records, back-to-back 6 touchdowns for a game, then what, 351?
Yeah,
353?
That was my junior year.
341.
Junior year, 341, 426 all-purpose. It's just something I was blessed, and I was just blessed with, I still sometimes don't even know how I do it, or know how I did it. I don't know it right now. Like, just those days, man, I remember just looking at people and knowing that they weren't taking it as serious as I did. So, like, I was in, D3, but I had the mindset of the people. So when I come out on the field and I look at everybody and they're like, I'm already locked in. I know when I touched the ball first time I touched the ball. And that was just one of those days. I touched the ball first time 70. And the second time I got the ball 65. And it's just like, we on to something that. Coach, come on. And then to be totally honest, I probably touched the ball twice third quarter. I didn't touch the ball. So I probably could have went for 7.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
That's what I'm saying. But in that, you came out in a stacked year. Like 2009, especially at running back. You had Bud Gold and Spencer.
He was
still up there. Yeah, he was still up there, you know what I'm saying? But how did you, especially it was even harder because you guys really 08 was the junior year was because all of you guys had to still keep up with Dominique Shear, Asher, you know what I'm saying? So you guys had those guys out the way your senior year, so it's just really, I mean, you were Bud Golden really in the city that were battling for top dog. How did you take that and kind of senior year, like put that on yourself?
At the beginning of the year, I said I was going for 2,000. That's what I said on the newspaper and all that. So I was a newspaper junkie too, like, you know, I like Google and newspaper junkie, like every week. Who got first? Okay, so if he got, I know next week he probably gonna get 200. I gotta get 3 because I'm trying to beat him out. And week 8, week 9, and week 10, I made sure I cleared it for sure. So I gotta have 250 this game. I'm telling my coach I need it. I gotta have them. That was, I ain't gonna lie to you, one game I had 333. And then the last game I had 254 against, I was just thirsty. Again, I knew that I was like, bro, I gotta distinguish myself. Man. It's like, this is what it is. And plus, I was already committed to UC as a junior. So,
I was gonna ask you about that. I was gonna ask you about that. Like, so, now you was a 3-star coming out. Talk to us, like, about your recruitment process. Like, how did that go? How did they reach out to you? Was there other teams, other schools that reached out to you? You know, what was so special about UC that made you want to do UC that early?
Man, here we go.
That's it. Yeah,
That's how we go. That's how we go.
Here for That's what we're here for.
10, 15 years later.
Let it out. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Nah, all right. So I'll say summer of junior year, North Carolina State. That was the first one that ever came to the door. So my pops was stuck on North Carolina State. Rest in peace, pops. He was stuck on North Carolina State. I'm like, well, if Ohio State, anybody in Ohio come, that's where I'm going. So Indiana came, Illinois, UC came. Boom, I'm geeking. Like, oh yeah, I'm thirsty. Like, and these all full rides. It ain't no like, yeah, we thinking about it. Like, the letter, you got a full scholarship. Like, oh yeah, bet. They pulling up to the house, all that. So it was just one specific day that they came pull me out the hallway, and I'm like, I was kind of hot boy too. I ain't about to act like I was. I was hot boy, so I was doing stuff in the streets and shit. So they called me to the office, like, and I'm like, I see 2 people with like, you know, I'm like, ooh, this ain't not today. Like, you feel me? Last week, it was hot last week, so it turned out to be them. And I'm like, whoa, this is Brian Kelly and Kerry Combs. They flew down and take me to the AD office, offered me the scholarship right there. I called my pops, like, I'm gonna take it right now. Like, he like, nah, hold on. I'm right now, like, I'm gonna take it. Like, he like, hold on, I'm gonna pull up. Me and my mom, rest in peace, my mom's like, she just passed a couple months ago, last month, sure. So like, she like, they coming up, and I'm just like, I'm taking it today. But I didn't. I went through a whole little process, but I ended up taking it probably like a month later.
What about you? What was your recruitment process like?
It was hectic. We had like I think it was 6 or 7 Division I coaching changes my senior year. So that's when D'Antonio was at UC, and then he left and went to Michigan State. So my process just was me just trying to find a place that was best for me to fit in. Like, so I had a lot of bigger schools that was looking at me, but of course, you know, I was a small guy, so everybody wanted me to red shirt, blase. So once everybody had I guess start settling in, and, you know, Greg Jones was my partner too. We had talked about going to UC together, but then when Antonio left to go to Michigan State, he offered everybody pretty much that he offered at UC for real. So everybody still had the offers from UC and other offers that, you know, because they couldn't take it from us. But I ended up getting called into the South Florida dream. I went down there on my visit. I didn't even have a graduation party or nothing. I was just straight from track, states from track. went on my visit and everything was late because our coaches family didn't quite know where it was going to be. So it was already summertime when I went down to visit South Florida. And, you know, a lot of promises was made. And that year, you know, they had JPP and Trophy and all of that. So it was number 2 in the nation at one point. So it was a lot of talent that was there, and they team pretty much built off of transfers from U, Florida State. So they had a pretty nice team. It was just that they promised, you know, spread offense, this and that. Like, it was pretty much like I wasted a year, you know, just going down there. And I went down there early, you know, and it just never, the talent never was in question. It was just the opportunity, you know, how the politics play out and stuff from there. So, and then if I would have transferred Division I to Division I, you know, I would have had to sit out of here. So it was like a no-brainer. One of my boys that I played high school against in Moeller, y'all remember Ryan Morris played quarterback for X, so he transferred from Moeller and went to X. He was close friends with me. He was at D2 school, Cal U. And they had called me. I went up there to check it out and had a couple conversations with the coaches. And man, we ended up having some of the best talent, skill position-wise, like I ever seen in my life, bro. It was great. Like, I've been around, played against the best talent there is, and just the skill players we had, bro, was crazy. And it's a D2 school. We had the number 1 junior college receiver in the nation, AJ Jackson, coming in. Marcel Pastano, he transferred from Pitt. And all these Florida boys. And so, long story short, you know, everybody got a different path. You know, it's just how hard and how far are you willing to go. You know, you can make everything happen. Unfortunately, my journey, injuries played a lot too. I tore my meniscus twice, both knees. I had to get a scope repaired and just staying healthy, bro. So I know I'm switching lanes and kind of everywhere, but that's what I stress with my son, just as far as stretching and being flexible and all of that for injury prevention reasons, you know, just because that's the biggest part of the game, staying healthy. You can't get out there and ball if you ain't healthy, and you can't play to your full potential if you're not healthy. You know, if you always babysitting some shit like babying it, you know, that's you gotta stay healthy.
So during your time, I mean, did you do the same thing? Like, cause I know, like he said, I did the same thing he did. I used to be on there like, all right, he got such and such yards. Yeah, I gotta get this.
I didn't. I was never really. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I collected everything that I was in, like, but I wasn't never really watching like, oh, how many yards he got or how many. Like, I was in a whole different. That Moeller, like, it just had you in a whole different mindset. Yeah, man. Like,
was that was just with you, or like they had the team like that way? Like you said, was that like the Moeller way all around?
It was just, you know, everybody bought in for real, you know, that type of deal. It wasn't like it was just straight up and down the class. Like, we had our fun. Of course, we kept up with our own stats and personal achievements and stuff like that. But as far as, I never really. It was just go ball, you know.
I just know every time we seen each other, we were supposed to race. The next time I see you, we racing. Next time we like, I see each other 32 times in a month, we racing. But that was just the fun of it. Right? That was just the fun of it. Like, back then we were like, it seems like back then everybody like he didn't stat watch, but he knew who the talent was in the city. Right. That way, when people came around, like back then, people would pay homage. Like, he would see, like, my senior year and junior year, like, when I seen guys like Devere or him or
love arguing with y'all.
Man, like,
sure.
Everybody.
I bet you I like you. I ain't trying to hear none of that.
I'm telling you.
You know what's going on. You seen what I did last week. Yeah, for sure. It was all that. It was all that. I got suspended.
I got suspended a game my senior year, and I'm like, I go watch the first quarter of the game. I'm like, forget this. I'll shoot down there. This is when Chlorine was playing Hoover down at UC. That I was
That's
like,
a Herb Street classic.
I'm going down there like my boy. Dominique was playing, and all of those guys. I'm like, I'm going down there to watch them. Because that's just the atmosphere it was back then. Like, all right, you're hurt, you're not playing, or you don't have a game. Like, you're popping up at other games. And games was big. You seen people on the sideline. Like, you seen, you know what I'm saying? Withrow had one of the livest bands for the longest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you pull up to watch a game, you know you're going to hear some shit. You know what I'm saying? So, how do you feel like we can take that culture that we had back then and bring that back where we have these young cats, especially like Winwood's just one stage. Sure. Like, how do we get guys like that to link up with guys like from North College Hill or from, you know what I'm saying, Moeller or Withrow to put in work together to help build each other, like, or just, you know what I'm saying, give that mutual respect that we had back then.
Me personally.
I think that's what it is now.
It could be. I know that's what it was. But me personally back then.
Yeah.
I was working there with my older brothers. They was bullying me, so.
Yeah, but you was still paying homage to people. Like, if you seen, like, all right, we all lock you down, but pretty much us saying we'll lock you down or me saying I'm gonna beat you in the race is kind of like me giving you respect, saying like I know you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna tell somebody that.
See, all right, so that's like with my son, like that's why everybody is like a big deal because they're like, yeah, y'all trying to let them play together, or they make it seem like it's something that it's not. It's really just the kids wanting to play with each other. You know what I'm saying? So that's their way of trying to, like, they know somebody like that, so they want to play with them like that. It don't necessarily be the parents, or they trying to do this or that, or no hidden agenda behind it. Like, real recognize real, you know what I'm saying, the ballers, and that's their way of paying homage, I think, is them linking up. And it's kind of hard. It's just so many different perspectives you can look at it, but at the end of the day, he mine. Like, I'm gonna do what's best for us. Like, it don't matter what nobody else talking about. We got our own plan, and we gonna stick to the script, you know what I'm saying? So, we got two little nice little guys together on the same team, and then nobody like it, but it's for long term. This ain't just for little league, you know what I'm saying? It's plans beyond that we don't have to explain to everybody else, you know, because we know what we got going on, but it's so much criticism coming from this way. Oh, it ain't no competition. Yeah, it's competition in different states and stuff too. You can't always just slap an all-star team together and go play and beat somebody because the chemistry ain't there. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put these guys together young while they're young. Like, and of course, it's gonna be other players that come in late and late developing kids and all of that. But if you got some kids that's like that, and especially I got my son, and I can grab a couple kids, you know, and kind of lead them in the direction that we going in, if that's what's best for them and their family and their situation or whatever, why wouldn't I do that with all the networks that I got and everything else? But it looked crazy for somebody on the outside looking in like, oh, that's lame, they team hopping or doing all this, but it's an opportunity, a special opportunity to change a small group of kids' lives, you know what I'm saying, for the better, and give them that opportunity to go to a Moeller or something like that they wouldn't, like, in any other circumstance, you know?
It's crazy because if you really look back on it, like, think about it, Matthew Stafford and Clayton Kershaw for the Dodgers, the pitcher, was on the same team. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, freaking Zion and Ja, same team. Like, you know what I'm saying? That, if you look at some of the greats, like, or some of the people who's really doing their thing now, they all teamed up with somebody that was like that because, like you said, like, Greg wants to play with Greg.
Yeah. And they feed off each other, they make each other better. You know, that's just the way it is. And it's gone. You gotta get in where you fit in, and it don't make sense to everybody, but as long as it makes sense for you, then you gotta ride with it. You know what I'm saying? If you feel right, go with it.
Y'all both raising sons that's following in y'all footsteps. Like, do you take lessons like from your own book and like mold him, or do you kind of like let him make his mistakes and then kind of like go that way a little bit?
He an open book. He asking for my help. Like, I'm on the sideline yelling at him. It's like we talking to each other on the field. So this is our first year. I didn't know what position he was gonna play or any of that. Like, we just was speed training, you know. I'm just getting him ready his body, making the cuts and all of that. Because I ain't know. He wanted to go play this year. I was gonna wait till he turned about 8 or so to actually put him in there personally, but he wanted to do it. So we just taking it day by day, man. You know, like I said, the important thing for me is just keeping him healthy because I know how my body feels now. So just keeping him stretched out and flexible and stressing the importance of that first and foremost, and then everything else, man. You just day by day, you know, he learns something every day, and he works hard, and he wants it. It's fun to him. It ain't like, yeah, you know, like I'm forcing him to do it. It's just anything.
What about you?
I made, you know, I know the mistakes I made, so it's like, I drill it. It's like, I'm telling you what I did. You know what I did. Everybody that walked up to me, bruh, you should have. And he see it, he know, like you know. So I got my little YouTube. He see me running the touchdowns, and I show him my little respect and all that. But the field work for him is like, I'm more worried about the school and being on point with your life. Football, bro, like, when I leave here and go to the crib, he liable. If he ain't playing for it, like he liable to be watching him. This is what I was supposed to do on this play, Bob. Yeah. He come around the corner and be like, this one, play 9, about to turn 10. This is what I was supposed to do on this play, because I've already done it. We watched film. So I already, like, he been watching film since he was 7. So by the time he get to 14, 15, he gonna be like, all right, okay, look, y'all, the whole team, look, this is what you're supposed to do on this. I've been doing this since, you know what I mean? So it's like the football part there, I'm more worried about the social part. Like, let's get through that part. Like, football gonna be there. Let's get through the social part.
So when y'all were in school, did the school itself try to like preach to y'all to take like SAT, ACT? Did they really push that on y'all? Because when I was in school, they really, I felt like they didn't say nothing to us. Like, I felt like they didn't say nothing to us when it came to like.
I didn't find out until I got my first scholarship. Then you know what I'm saying? It was, you know what I'm saying? Doc called me in like, hey man, you better get your SAT. You got some scholarships, but if you don't get your SAT, I'm like, SAT? What? I ain't even going to class. I'm taking a computer class all. I'm like, SAT, ACT. I'm like, so.
I ain't see. What's crazy is I didn't even play nothing freshman year. So I ain't play football, basketball, nothing. Like, so sophomore year I did my thing, and then junior year came around and everything started coming in. It's junior year. They like, bro, you need to get this and you need the SAT. And I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, I thought you just get it and go. Like, you feel me? Like, shit, I was here. Yeah. I thought you just get it and go. They like, nah, you gotta have a 2-point this, and you gotta have a 19 or 21, and you gotta have a 1600. I'm like, hell no, I ain't getting that shit. Got transferred to Kentucky. I was gonna transfer to Kentucky my senior year just to bypass all this shit. But it ended up working whenever we get to that point.